What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Riven. In the last episode, we got to, what was it called? Tay? I think that's what it was called. The save put me back a little bit. I did stop in between the last episode and this one, so I think it put us back a little bit in terms of timing, but that's okay, because we'll just re-experience this, and I know... Hello.
Hello.
Hey, I'm
Where
friendly.
am I?
Friendly. 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 Oh. Uh-oh. Ew. So yeah, we have some books to read on the other side of this. Yes, it is Tay. The achievement says arrive on Tay. Oh, I didn't even notice you were behind me. So they're both involved in this process. So it obviously looks like a residence. It's a hideout of some sort. There's no reason to hide it behind all of the symbols and resistant paintings otherwise. This is where people who are trying to hide from Gehn's influence come. Assumedly these people are working off of Catherine's direction, but are, obviously she is not there because she is imprisoned. Okay. And then we'll get our person. Okay, so that same, like, one resistance person is everywhere. Like an Efalapo. I always wonder with stuff like this where it's an unknown language completely, where it's made up, does the script just have pronunciation of stuff, or are they just asking them to kind of stay within a certain range of sounds and just freestyle it based off of what's written on the page? I've seen both, I think, in terms of scripts in writing, where they give them... I think this is what they did with all things Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They had, like, written in the script what is the line that I am Groot was supposed to say, or what does it mean when he's saying I am Groot. So it has, like, the English quote-unquote translation, and he just was reading it based off of the tone of how he should be saying that line. And then there's other things in media where it's just, nonsense syllables and stuff like that. Okay, so both of these things are now collected. Let's do the smaller one first. Aha. Okay, so we have a vertical book. And then we have this other bigger one. Ooh, it's a linking book. All right, we will not be doing that currently. Okay. I write quickly from my prison. Along with this journal, I've instructed Neela to return the book that the moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atrus for a very specific purpose. Gehn will wish to use it, though he will undoubtedly be suspicious. Once he's out of the way, you'll still need the combination to release me. I'm told he keeps the keys somewhere in his outpost on 233. Okay. I'm told he keeps it somewhere. Okay. Oh, right. The combination is kept on got it. Okay, I don't know what 233 is, though. Is that a nickname for somewhere I've been? Then I assume we're to signal Atrus. I think I know how it might be done, but don't attempt it before I'm released. It's been 1 week since I linked to Riven, and I'm still reeling from the changes I've witnessed. Even before my eyes could adjust, the smell of my homeland embraced me. The sweet salt air was instantly familiar, but the scene that soon resolved was not. As I stood there, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing, a violent clang sounded, and bars appeared before me. Oh, right, so the spawn, right, is in that little prison thing where we started. It was then that I must have been darted. Oh, darted, yeah. For my memory after is cloudy. A Rivenese man, shabbily dressed in militaristic attire, was shouting something at me. He seemed to be attempting to speak Dunny, but his grasp of the language was so poor that I could not make out his words. And then the world went dark. Many voices passed until at last I awoke to a familiar face, Etty. After all this time, she is still as warm and kind as ever, and yet the years have clearly wounded her, as they've wounded everyone, whose became a prison when Gehn was trapped here. Everything is tinged with pain, and less, even Etty's bright smile, though she does her best to hide it. A desperate urgency, squelched by unuttered fears, seethes beneath her cordial veneer. This is hard to read. I always had trouble reading script. I'm doing okay, I think. When Atrus and I left Gehn here, all those years ago, I was haunted by visions of what had become of my people, and how they might have come to suffer under his rule. But the injustices I imagined were nothing compared to the atrocities that have actually come to pass. The following is a chronicle of what I have learned, a record of all that has happened, should I no longer be here to tell it. The moiety. It seems the confrontation that led to Gehn's entrapment on Riven was witnessed by some of the Rivenese, but their interpretation of the event was skewed, no doubt due to Gehn's overinflated view of himself. Atrus and I had hoped that stripping him of his ability to link to other worlds might lead people to conclude that his claims of godhood were false, but it appears the opposite has come to pass. If Gehn was a god and we had vanquished him, then we must be greater gods. It was thus assumed that my absence was only temporary, and that I would surely return one day to set the world right again. Thus, the moiety, the name they adopted for Gehn's disparaging use of the term, were born. Okay. Sworn enemies of Gehn and devotees of me. Oh, I see. Okay, so the moiety is the resistance. That's what we're talking about. I had no inkling of this misconception about myself until 2 days ago, though in hindsight it makes perfect sense given the way I've been treated. For their part, they naturally assumed an omniscient deity might be well aware of their own divine status, so there was no need to inform me. I only finally pieced it together during a recent underground gathering, where they reenacted their version of the story of my life, a riveting tale that culminated with the confrontation between Atrus, myself, and Gehn at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated to such grandiose proportions that I found it hard at times to suppress my laughter, and yet this myth has also given them the courage to stand against Gehn, and the hope that they might someday be delivered from the relentless inhumanities of his authoritarian rule. Even so, the fact that I am the one who has been cast as their savior, an omnipotent being who would one day return to Riven, overthrow Gehn, and lead them to a new paradise, is deeply unsettling. I would do anything to free my people from this hellish existence, but I am not who they think I am. How, though, I can dissuade them from this notion without also crushing their hopes. As Gehn's power grew, so did the moiety, and in order to invade his persecution, for he would wipe them all out in an instant if he could, they had to become more and more adept at concealing themselves. They made use of a network of caves that so far he has failed to discover, but I fear it is only a matter of time before they're found out. 3 Bolu must be lit. Secret passage to the rebel linking room. Okay. Do I know what this is yet? Maybe. Further jeopardizing their existence is the fact that the moiety absolutely refuse to sever their ties with those who have sided with Gehn. The two factions thus live together in surprising harmony, their overarching sense of cultural unity appearing to outweigh the schism, at least for now. I heard today that Father and Anant were inducted into Gehn's labor force. Oh, right. Gehn is on her father, so she has parents. I so longed to see them, but a dimness shrouded Etty's face so abruptly when I asked of them that it left me hesitant to press the matter further. I must know the truth eventually, but I fear the news will not be good. From the moment of their inception, the moiety have sought to disrupt Gehn's plans at every turn, sabotaging his constructions, stealing from his precious stockpiles, and keeping an even watchful eye on his every move. They shroud themselves with dark coverings, and delight in the fact that their enemies are often frightened by their wraith-like appearance, and their almost preternatural? Maybe like that's like predatory? Preternatural ability to wreak havoc without detection on consequence. It was in the course of one of these forays that I was fortuitously rescued when I first linked to Riven. I shudder to think what might have become of me had that scout not been there to intervene. Same with me. Gehn will certainly be hunting for me now, no doubt furious of his guard's failure to detain me. He must be even angrier, though, that the loss of the linking book he surely assumes I brought with me, that I was deceived into linking into Riven without a way back, is a bitter yet fortunate fact, for it may well have meant the death of us all had a path back to the yawning, for it may well have meant the death of us all had a path back to Denis fallen into his destructive hands. When he finally discovers that I came here empty-handed, he'll be angrier still. That is some consolation, at least. We're still going. I've glimpsed the final breath of a dying age. A tiny blade cuts the void. The white hole divided again and again, dipped in black. The nib drips red, the art of genocide. Today I ventured above ground to see for myself what has become of the island. I hoped it wouldn't be as bad as the moiety had reported. It was worse. Having lived with it for so long, the Rivenese have become what is it supposed to inured? Yeah, inured to the steady decay around them. But I was devastated. As we wound our way through the underbrush, I found myself once again breathing in my youth, the ocean air transporting me back in a matter of seconds. But as my eyes again took hold of the warmth of those memories vanished, and I was left with nothing but numbness. We had reached a bluff that had not been there the last time I visited my home. Riven, which was once one island, had split into 5 distinct pieces that have since drifted apart at an astounding rate. Ooh, that's interesting. So Riven was one island. 4 of these have been claimed by Gehn as his exclusive domain. Only those who have sworn their loyalty to him are even allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the trees, I could see 3 of them, now blighted with Gehn's monomaniacal constructions. These islands are closely guarded and pose great personal risk to the moiety, though that hasn't kept them from doing whatever they can to thwart Gehn's endeavors there. So this is Temple Island, Jungle, Survey, Boiler. The 4th island I could not see, as it has crept away to some distance and now lies concealed by fog. The moiety said that Gehn originally governed from this small island, living and working in a protected space he built for himself atop the stump that remains where the great tree used to stand. The only surviving forest is located here, on the largest island, where the village also remains. This island was ostensibly intended to be the province of the people, but it too has been irrevocably marred by Gehn's oppressive intrusions. Words fall. Brittled brown leaves, masquerading as green, should have never held. Lives both bloomed, and as yet unseeded. Right, we know what this is. I feel nothing today. I am an outcast among outcasts, the diaspora of a dying world. Despite my repeated protestations, the moiety continue to treat me differently. Their desperate need precluding any dissuasion from the belief that I am some sort of messiah come to save them. They misconstrue my every move as a validation of their faith, whispering of how I walked the island, bold and unafraid, mistaking my outrage at the island's devastation for bravery. But I am afraid, for I know something that the moiety do not. The underlying. God, I really hate scripts. The underlying reason for the island's accelerated decay. Gehn wrote this world, and so it will fail. as all of Gen's ages ultimately fail. I must make the moiety understand this, but I cannot talk to Eti. There were brief moments soon after my arrival when my divine status was forgotten, and I was seemingly and was simply Katran again. But they are almost non-existent now. There is one person, however, who seems immune to these fallacious notions. Neela. Her gaze has never faltered whenever I've dared hint at the uncomfortable truth. I feel I could trust her to bear the full brunt of it. Gehn is making books. How did I not know this until now? Right, so that's what some of the machinery is for. Atrus and I knew he would likely attempt it, as he has adopted the paranoid practice of writing all of the necessary materials into his ages. He's been exploiting the natural resources and the people of Riven as fodder for his mad pursuit to further his colonialist ideals. Thankfully, it sounds as if he has not yet succeeded. As painful as it's been, the fact that I've returned to Riven at this crucial juncture is fortuitous. The age is crumbling. My people are suffering, and if Gehn succeeds in securing his freedom, other worlds will suffer the same. The moiety are looking to me. I may only be mortal, but I do have to do something. Oh, this is the Temple Island thing. Okay. It's been a long time since my last entry. There is much to tell. It was hard to recognize, but I found the Star Fissure. It's located on what Gehn refers to as his Temple Island, though the moiety prefer to use the Rivenese word alapo, which means water pool. They've thus taken to referring to the void itself as Ala Tuvan, pool of stars. It is the very fissure that allowed Atrus and me to escape this age without leaving a linking book behind us, though it has since been sealed with the skin of heavy iron. Several derelict devices from that time remain mounted to its surface, including a hatch. I see it here. Including a hatch with a windowed viewpoint, a large telescope, and the mechanical life that was used to install it, the combination to which was acquired by the moiety long ago. Then we have our code. I'm going to take a picture of it, but let's actually write down what this code actually is. So, really quick, we know what these numbers are. So our code is going to be for that is 10, right? Because when we get to double triangles, it's 10. 10, then 2, 10, 10, 10. Then we have 6. Then we have double triangle on the top. That's a 7. Then a 2 again. And then 1. Okay. So 4, 10, 2, 10, 10, 10, 6, 7, 2, 1. All right. In the early days, the moiety briefly considered reopening the fissure. Thankfully, they decided against it. Had they attempted it back then, the results might have well been catastrophic. Were they to do so today, it would certainly mean the end of Riven. I am told that in the days immediately following Gehn's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the Myst book fall from Atrus's hands into that very same space. To this end, he sacrificed several poor souls, alleged transgressors of the law, by throwing them into the hatch so he could observe their fate. It is said that they did not die, but what becomes of them remains a mystery, and that original fissure is no longer alone. New ruptures have appeared in recent years at various locations around the islands. In some instances, the moiety were able to glimpse the branches before Gehn and his minions moved in to contain them. Their descriptions support my suspicion that the forces that are tearing Riven apart are more than merely geological. More troubling, however, is that Gehn is not simply containing these rifts, but is somehow using them to travel between the islands, and that he has also reportedly devised a way to harvest the energies from the expanse for some as yet unknown purpose. How like him to wantonly exploit for his own selfish gain that which he does not understand. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. That is how Atrus described his brief time within the expanse, before he linked out, leaving his Myst book adrift within it. He was never able to conclude upon its nature, but I cannot help but feel that there must be some greater pneuma behind it. Something I should have mentioned earlier. One of the colossal blades that appeared on the course of our escape from Riven, the great dagger that stands at one end of the fissure, has been adopted by the moiety as the emblem of their struggle. They have their own explanation as how it came to be, of course, but their choice is more apt than they know, as that dagger, along with the other blades, was a manifestation of my rage at the desecration that Gehn had already wrought upon my world. I haven't told the moiety that I wrote it into this age, as I fear that it would only fuel their overestimation of me, but I can't deny it pleases me to have inadvertently provided them with such a fitting symbol for their cause. Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, those things appeared as a nature of writing in the book. That's cool. Okay. My limited encounters with Gehn's followers have been discouraging. Whenever I've attempted to engage them, they've fled from me. I heard an interesting tale from the moiety last night, which may help to explain this. Soon after we trapped Gehn on Riven, he claimed that it was he who had been responsible for the Great Blades, summoning them as a preemptively punitive reminder of the is that obeisance? Obedience? No. I don't know what that word is. Hold on. I'm going to look that up. I don't even know how to pronounce that. What is that? Obeisance. Movement of the body made in token of respect or submission. Oh. Okay, so yeah, like a bow or like a prayer. Interesting. In the village... hold on, so let me read that again. He had been responsible for the Great Blade, summoning them as a preemptively punitive reminder of the obedience he expected. Oh, interesting. In the village circles, it is told that this act marked the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, provided they had proven their devotion to him, they would be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue my attempts to intervene on their behalf. The cage has finally failed. Gehn is free. My sources have confirmed that Gehn has managed to create a functional linking book. In fact, he had done so before my arrival, but kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest acolytes were aware of it. On keeping with his callous regard for the worlds he creates, since he has simply named this age 233. It is not yet known whether he has written others. I have also just learned that years ago, a moiety scout managed to steal a book that was an early failure that Gehn had intended to destroy. It was largely complete, but did not work. I wasn't told about it until now because they had thought it was useless. Gehn struggled for decades, but he could never get a conventional linking book to work. Then, one day, he began construction on a cumbersome mechanical solution, a complex array of devices designed to harness the energies of the starry expanse and use them to suppress his book's inherent flaws. That's what I've been working at. The design phase was chaotic and often dangerous. The moiety tell of tremendous explosions, as Gehn sought to contain and wield forces that he knew little to nothing about. But he is nothing if not determined, and eventually he was able to use this enormous crutch to link to another age. I cannot deny his brilliance, but it is an abominable solution, brutish and overwrought. And all but entirely unnecessary. I have studied the partially burned book that the moiety took from him. Although he sought retribution for the affront, he appears to have been otherwise untroubled by the theft, no doubt assuming the book would be useless as the moiety's hands... useless in the moiety's hands, but I could see what they could not. The book may yet be salvageable. The age the book describes is wholly unsuitable as a home for the moiety, but I think it can be modified. I will dream. Ooh. I have nearly finished writing the moiety's age. The world, as described, is harsher and more desolate than anyone there used to, but they should be able to sustain themselves there. But we'll need a second book. Gehn has been spending most of his time on 233 lately, so the danger is less, but getting into his lab will still be difficult. The coming collapse weights the air, blurring my vision both day and night. We must act soon. Huh. So this is Gehn looking at them with the resistance to open the starry expanse. Success! We have secured a second book, though I worry now that Gehn will miss it and deduce our plans before we're ready. The descriptive book I've prepared as a refuge for the rebels is useless unless I can find a way to correct its inherent flaws. Gehn's massive machine mainly functions to manipulate the energies within the expanse. It serves as its purpose, but its excess seems unwarranted. The Rivenese have long used crystalline substrates as an elegant means to manipulate light, if I could just find the right material. Last night's dreams have delivered me a perilous plan. I will unite this substance into the new moiety age. Oh boy, what the heck is this? I guess it's another lens like the end of Myst, right? To make a new book. If we could temporarily access Gehn's apparatus, we could use our book to link to this new age and search for the crystal. Someone would then have to carry the book back to safety once the link was made. If it fell into Gehn's hands, it would all be lost. When Gehn links to 233, one of his acolytes always remains to shut down the device. We'll have to get to him before he could do so, which means we'll only have one chance before they're alerted to our own presence. Everything is ready. I've written the material into the new age, and I've prepared the second linking book as a return path to Riven. Of course, it too suffers the same deficiency as all of Gehn's books, so it won't work unless it's augmented. Once I'm in the new age, I'll have to locate the crystal and adapt it to heal the gateway image, which should render the book functional. I can then use the second linking book to return to Riven with more of this material. It's risky, but if it all goes well, the moiety and any others we can convince to join them will finally have an escape. I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of this plan. I sound like Atrus. Should I fail to return, it will likely mean the end of my life. But my only real fear is for my people. Everyone assures me they have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. That's the fulfillment of the prophecy, after all. But underneath, they are just as tense and fearful as I am. What will become of them if I do not return? Will they perish here on Riven? Or attempt to follow me through this new book to an unknown fate? I do not know what to tell them. Wow, keeps going. These books are just insanely long. Against all odds, it is done. We have already evacuated most of our members to this new age, which the moiety have named Tay. The world is more beautiful than I'd anticipated, so I'm pleased. The Rivenese have been liberated at last. They stand beneath the open sky, unafraid, dazzled by their freedom. They are happy, but there's still much to be done. The age is still vulnerable. The only way to completely protect it from Gehn is to destroy the books once everyone is safely in Tay. I'm hesitant to bring this up with the moiety until they've had a chance to acclimate themselves to the new world, as it would mean they would be forever exiled from the only home they've ever known. I am eager to sever my own connection and my only path back to my life and family on Myst. Family on Myst. But for greater good, it must be done. For the moment, we're safe, but our activities could arouse Gehn's suspicions at any moment. We cannot delay. I will return to Riven tomorrow to resume my attempts to persuade the remaining holdouts to join others in Tay. For now, though, I must rest. And that's where she gets captured. And then there's a note up here. So the note... I write quickly from my prison. Along with this journal, I've instructed Neela to return the book that the moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atrus for a very specific purpose. Gehn will wish to use it, though he will undoubtedly be suspicious. Once he's out of the way, you'll need the combination to release me. I'm told he keeps it somewhere in his outpost on 233. Then I assume we're to signal Atrus. I think I know how it might be done, but don't attempt it before I'm released. So, okay. Got it. Okay. So I'm assuming that actually we have to use the linking book here. Oh, maybe not. Whoa. Hi. Oh, look. It's the axe. Of which we have a bigger one elsewhere. Hi, guys. How's it going? This is wild. Okay, so maybe not use the linking book. Yeah, I'm not going to use that unless I have to, because it seems like I might get trapped. Hello there. There's guards everywhere. Yes, obviously we're in the big circular structure, which is cool. What is also cool is that all these houses are kind of similar to the pods that were in the village on Jungle Island, but they're a little bigger and a little different. Hey, how's it going? Huh. Is that supposed to depict someone specific, or is just a human? Do they call these people humans, or they just call them the Rivenese or the Moedi? Okay, looks like I can go down. Oh, you're letting me pass. How's it going? Hello. How's it going, friend? No? Yes? Oh! Okay. I'm not seeing any way to open the door, so I'm assuming I go down. Hello? I don't know if you're fascinated by me or wary of me. I'm certainly a little bit of both for these guys. I know that they're the good guys, but they could still hurt me if they thought I was a threat. They don't know what the hell I am. If they thought Catherine was a god, what do they think I am? Can I pull this, or are you gonna pull it for me? I have a feeling you're gonna pull it for me. Yeah. Thank you. Alright, down to this main area. And there's no way to go back up. Not gonna look at me? I'm not interesting enough? Alright. Okay, we have another, yet another book. Ah, okay, so this is the book to get back. Okay, that's good. So then, what is this book? This must be the trap. This must be the... Yeah, this is the book that's gonna trap... Oh, right, that's where Atrus is. Okay, cool. Alright, going back. This is exciting. Now we have new information. Yeah, reading that much stuff. I'm in a hot as hell room right now, and reading about 20 pages of straight book gets to me after a while. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if this code works. I have no reason to believe it shouldn't. I almost feel like we should probably not leave this open. I know what the order is. If I have to go back, I'll go back, but... Let's not let Gehn get his hands on this. No grubby hands on my secret hideout. Alright, out we go. So now the fastest way to get to... I have to go back to Temple, so it'd be here, and then we go up. Hello, okay. There was also that illustration I can't forget in that book that was kind of mentioning... I don't know what it was referring to. So that's going to be an interesting discovery. I don't know what... Oh, hello, hello. Holy poppin'. Okay. The game is not doing well right now. I don't know what's happening. There we go. I think we're back in business. So, cool. So these... Right. So these weapons were a reflection of Catherine's rage. And all of these islands used to be connected. That's a cool piece of lore. Which I guess does actually explain the prison island thing with the totem for this side of the island. Because if they used to be connected, then that means that unless they did that after the fact. But maybe not. Maybe the totem was always there. That's an interesting question. I wonder if that was always there. All right, well, let's turn ourselves around. And we are off. Very good. So I don't think I have to actually keep track of the weapons. That comment made it seem like that's more of a world-building thing than it is a puzzle. Could be wrong. They could use that contextually as some part of, like, internal measure. We'll just have to find out. Alright, should be good to go here. Alright, to the starry expanse machinery thing. Oh. Oh, no. Ew, you're gross. Oh, I hate that. He's following me. No, 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 no. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Following my eyes. So, where does that mean that he is? Does that mean he's in the throne room? Can I get there pretty quickly? I feel like I'm gonna have to turn this how many more times? I forget now. I want to catch him in the act. He can't leave this island without me knowing, as far as I'm aware. If he is in the throne room... Oh, no. Well, no. He couldn't leave from Gold Dome. That's his whole point. I guess he could go... I guess he could try to go to 233 if that's true. Alright, we gotta keep spitting the heck out of this. We gotta get out of that one and go over to here. Press it again. Alright. I just don't want to wait for this one. I actually really want to do this. Is that going to be it? Yes, good. Let's try to go catch him. Is he in there? Or is he up here? Okay, so here... Oh, boy. I'm trapped in here. Oh. Oh, the different marbles. Oh, hello. Oh, wow. Okay, hello. And I'm given... Interesting. Look at all this. Can I walk around? I can. Aha! Okay, that looks familiar. So we're putting them on a 5 by 5 grid. So I need some sort of combination for a 5 by 5 grid. And obviously that 5 by 5 grid looks like the Survey Island puzzle. I'm unsure about what this means. But let's take this down. I want to go down. I don't want to do this right now. I don't think I have what I need anyway. Oh, and I see the different strike forces too. Yeah, that's a whole thing I have to kind of like fully dial in. He probably has already left at this point, but let's certainly try to see if we can catch him in here. I obviously don't think I'm gonna run into anybody here, but you know, we might as well try. No, he is not in here. Okay. Alright. So, let's go put in that combination, shall we? And see what that does for us. And then, I'm unsure what that's going to do for us. But hey, that... And because we've already decoded the numbers, that is progress that is done. Okay, let's see. So, we have 4... 2, 3, 4. Yes. Okay. 10. That's correct. 2. 2. 10, 10, 10. 6. So 9, 8, 7, 6. 9, 8, 7. 2. 1, 2. 1. Yes! Okay. Okay. Interesting. Has anything changed here? No. Has anything changed here? No. Has anything changed here? Am I wrong that it looks a little brighter? It might be a little brighter. Oh, I see. Hold on. When we turn it this way... Yes. Okay, okay, cool. I was like, wait, that line looks different. Oh, we're gonna lift it. No, a little too much, I think. Can we back it up a little bit? Can you go down by only a little bit? There we go. Okay, now pull here. Is that all you could do? Huh. That's as far as it goes, it seems. Let's come back down. Is it gonna just smack on the top of that thing? Yes. So I know you could go that far. Okay. This is very silly. I'm like, wait, hold on. Let's pull this back a little bit. Can I bring this up so it goes farther? Now I bring it left. No, I feel like I should bring it down, actually. Right? But now it's gonna stop itself from moving. Oh, maybe not. Is that gonna do it? That's seemingly correct. Ah! Yes! Oh boy. Did I do something wrong? Or is that just the correct thing I'm supposed to do? Oh my goodness. It's collapsing. Whoa.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine? The trap book is empty. I don't understand.
Oh, no.
You never did.
Father.
Father, I am no longer your father because you are no longer my son.
Okay, so obviously I have hit a bad ending. Oh, you evil bastard.
I don't know what you thought you were doing, but thank you. I finally am free.
Well, that's not good. Complete Riven? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Okay, so I got an achievement to complete Riven, which means I quote-unquote beat the game. But the achievement is also summon Atrus prematurely. So obviously that was not the right order of events. That's funny, though. Okay, cool. So that's our signal to Atrus. But we have to do the Gehn trap first and try to free Catherine. All right, I think it's going to just put us where? Oh, great. Okay, cool. Very funny. Hey, but we got a bad ending. That's good. I actually like seeing all the bad endings in games like this. Because I think it's fun, and I want to see all the stuff the game actually has to offer. That means I'm gonna have to do that whole thing again, but we'll wait to do that until we get a little closer, obviously, to the real true ending. I think this is where I'm gonna call it for this episode, though. We have a lot more to do and a lot more to see, obviously, so interested to see what the next step of this is, but we'll figure it out in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.